Barney Tiede ended a woman's life, and his town loved him anyway. Barney grew up around loss and abuse, and so it wasn't much of a surprise when he became a mortician's assistant at the Hawthorne Funeral Home just out of high school. He was good at his job, and he knew how to relate to people who were grieving, which is exactly what happened in March of 1990 when an elderly widow named Marjorie Nugent came to the Hawthorne Funeral Home to bury her husband. Marjorie was 40 years older than Bernie, but they became fast friends. And nobody knew, but in 1991, she changed her will, leaving her entire $10 million estate to him. By 1993, Bernie quit the funeral home business and became Marjorie's full-time business manager, accompanying her on trips around the world. This wasn't a physical thing, though. Marjorie was lonely, and Bernie was a good companion. And in turn, she showered him with presents, gifts, cash, money, even pilot lessons. But by 1994, Marjorie was showing signs of dementia, and her grandchildren came to visit her, and she had no idea who they were, and she tried to send them away. When the family came into the house, they realized that Marjorie had removed pictures of everybody and replaced them with just photos of her and Bernie. And everything seemed like it was going well. But in November of 1996, Bernie shot her in the back 4 times with a rifle. And then he stored her body in the freezer of her own home. Bernie told everybody that Marjorie had just vanished, and it's not uncommon for dementia patients to go missing. People just assumed the worst. And after 9 months of searching, her son gave up, and she was declared officially dead. That same son went to his mom's house to help settle her estate and found her in the freezer. Bernie was called in for questioning, and in August of 1997, he admitted that he did it. And this is when things got weird. Almost nobody in the community of Carthage cared at all. See, once Bernie had full control of her finances, he began spending a lot of money. And it wasn't entirely on himself. It was on the community in Carthage. So over the last couple of years, they began to regard him as some sort of saint, helping if anyone needed things fixed or repaired in the community. In fact, the police were kind of flabbergasted when people started showing up and calling the precinct and saying, "Release him." They had decided that whatever he did outweighed the millions of dollars that he had spent on Carthage. That meant the trial couldn't be done in Carthage, and in 1999, it had to be moved to a city 50 miles away. That jury took just 20 minutes to give him life in prison. But Bernie appealed it, saying that the police had coerced him into a confession. And it turned out that had some merit, and they released him in 2014. While he was free, he actually lived at the filmmaker's house who made the movie about him in 2011. He got a new trial in 2016 where he was sentenced to 99 years in prison.